Hey folks, hanging out in the parking lot, giving this beautiful 68 Caddy a little bit of a polish before our next episode of Backseat Driver. This belongs to Dave Ramsey friend and country music superstar John Rich, who has so kindly let us borrow this great car for our guest today because our episode has a special Nashville theme to it.
Hey.
Thanks for doing this, man.
Absolutely.
All right, John Rich's Caddy.
Well, I would expect nothing less than this car from Mr. John Rich. This is gonna be fun.
In the backseat today is Charles Esten. The talented actor and singer plays Deacon Claiborne on ABC's popular series Nashville. When he's not on set, Esten is performing his hit single Hot One all across America. Well, Chip, you and I have a Virginia connection growing up in Virginia. You're in high school at T.C. Williams High School. That's the famous high school from Remember the Titans. Did you play football?
I did play football for a couple of years there. I was a quarterback. I was not first string at any point in my career there. I was between second and third. So I did some talent shows back then. Didn't really get to do any plays because I was in the sports and making music. And then after college, it was, am I going to go do this music thing, or do I follow the acting, this thing I might like to do? And I had a couple friends that had already gone out to LA, so I went out and started.
First time I ever saw you professionally was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? How soon did you get into the actual improv work from that time after college?
It's not like you can just go be on a TV show, so what you can do is you can go to an open mic night and just do stand-up. I got up there and I did it. I remember the nerves. I was petrified. It struck me instantly. The moment I got off the stage, I thought to myself, really, this is what you want to do, and yet you're going to let yourself be paralyzed by 200 not quite sober people that you're never going to see again? Somehow I had walked through a door of that understanding of what fear in that instance really is. From there, I'll fast forward to where I ended up in London about a year or two later. Somebody told me about this British television show called Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I first got on the British version.
How important is it for all of us to kind of step into that fear? Because that's powered you through, I'm sure, so many situations in life.
I'm going to go way back to something that I did that I thought was pretty pivotal to it. I got a manager rather early, but they didn't really know me. So I invited them to dinner, my wife and I did, and basically showed off for a couple of hours. And one of the things I did was grab a guitar, play a little music. They had no idea I could even do that. They gave me a call saying there's this role of Buddy Holly. Would you like to audition to play Buddy Holly in London? And I was like, yes, that is what we're talking about now. And somehow I got that role, and I ended up doing that for a little over 2 years. Changed my life. It set us up a little bit financially early on. It got me on Whose Line. I got to learn the thing I was trying to learn, acting, while I got to do the thing I knew, which was playing music and performing live on stage.
So what you just said is a life lesson.
It's exactly right. The thing I wanted to do as a living, I got to learn to do while I was doing the thing that I was really good at.
Wow.
And
that's masterclass stuff right there.
Well, if you can find a way to make that happen,
I mean,
I didn't aim for that and go, you know what I need to do?
Right.
I need to learn what I want to learn.
A lot of people know you from The Office. Were you a fan of that show?
I was a huge fan of The Office. In fact, I'd watched the British one first. And so I was a little dubious, if I'm going to be honest, until I saw that they had Steve Carell. And then they also saw that they had my friend Rainn Wilson, who I had done a pilot with. And I said, you know what? I think they're going to be all right. Right after I did my audition, it went pretty well, and they said, so I understand you know Rainn. I said, I more than know Rainn. I was in a pilot with him where we played androids who solved crimes. And they all kind of laughed like you did, and I said, I'll tell you what, if you give me this job on my first day at the work, I will bring that DVD of Rainn Wilson.
A little bonus.
I think by the time I got to the parking lot, I got the call from my agent that I had the job. On the really good roles, the one you really want, I always figured, you know what, I might only get one opportunity to play Deacon Claiborne ever in my life. So I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make the most of it for me. It sort of feels like a real bookend to the Buddy Holly thing.
It really does.
I was sold at the name Deacon Claiborne.
It is a great name.
You know, a man whose eyes are set high and is trying to be forgiven and find that grace and all those things, like a deacon. But then his last name is Claiborne, born of the clay, like earthly, infallible.
That has to be a really positive thing for you when you lay your head on the pillow at night, that there's this derivative that's positive of your art. Does that happen a lot?
Absolutely. I understand the side door that I've been blessed to step through when others have earned it a much more legitimate way, some would say.
Well, dude, here we are. the Ryman.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I gotta ask you, what was the feeling like the first time you knew you were gonna play in here? Like someone tells you.
I honestly couldn't believe it, to tell you the truth, because none of this is lost on me. I understand what this place is. It's the mother church of country music.
This is hallowed ground for a musician, isn't it?
It absolutely
This stage is so iconic. I have gotta ask you, what's on your top 3 greatest songs?
Ooh, that I always find that to be so hard. No, it's. I mean, but hey, nobody said life or this interview was fair.
Right. Just one.
I'll say that number moves constantly.
Of course, yeah.
At any given time, I will say Hank Williams. I heard the story when I was a little boy of Hank Williams coming out on this very stage right there. Nobody knew him, and then he broke into his now famous Lovesick Blues.
Yes.
And he hit that first yodel, and everybody in every seat of this building stood up on their feet and went crazy because of what the note resonated out of and where it came from. And they couldn't get him off the stage. There were at least 8 curtain calls. That song's always held a very special place in my heart.
Take us to that first moment when you walked out from those curtains back there onto the stage for a live audience.
Well, I kept thinking about all the things and all the people that have performed here. Hank Williams, Roy Acuff, Patsy Cline. They don't need any of the politics or the mind games. These people are so very talented that it affords them the opportunity that they take to be extremely kind. So that combination of the best players in the world and completely welcoming, that's the only way I was able to do anything at all. Little Jimmy Dickens passed away a couple years ago, and he was 93 when I met him, I believe. He made me feel welcome. And if he makes you feel welcome, then who can say otherwise? And then that amazing band behind you means you just step forward and focus on the one thing, which is singing your song, telling your story. And that's what I love about country music, is that the story is primary. And I think that's why it goes so great with our show. There's something that music can do in a place that maybe just words alone can't. As for my character, he's that classic cowboy that doesn't want to talk too much or say too much, but you hand him a guitar and he gets behind that and he'll spill everything.
He's in the show.
Yeah.
He loves the show.
Oh,
and you're my favorite character.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, oh my God.
I just hang out here waiting for people to... No, I don't. Can we try this again?
We went to Graceland and now we're here.
You're hitting the good
spots.
spots.
You better not die this year.
By the way, visit this place. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
Yeah. So what's your big idea?
My big idea is we got John Rich's convertible caddy. Let's just cruise Nashville. You down?
Let's do it. Let's take this roof down. Thanks, John Rich. You mind if I ride up front?
I do not mind.
So my boys and I climb in and drive down to my post 5. I can feel the temperature rise. It's gonna be a